In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can scrape thousands or even tens of thousands of leads, use AI to hyper-personalize them at scale, and leverage them in cold email campaigns using Clay.com. For context, Clay is a tool that has completely changed how I've sent cold emails over the last few months. It allows me to use AI to make the emails sound like they were manually written, but if you use it in conjunction with a tool like SmartLead, you can send thousands or even tens of thousands of emails that convert extraordinarily well. If you don't believe me, here's just a couple examples. This customer here who we launched a campaign using Clay with, we were able to get 14 interested leads and a closed deal within 3 days of the campaigns going live, which is absolutely crazy. This customer here who we were able to book 5 meetings in one single day for, and this other customer here who were able to get a $10 billion publicly traded company in with their company. Also, if you don't know who I am, my name is Matt Lucero. I send a few 100,000 emails a month for a bunch of different companies like these. And if you stick around to the end, I'll show you some example Clay tables that I've built for a customer so that you can take a look at them, model them in your campaigns, and use them to send hyper-personalized campaigns that get you tons of results. So enough about me, let's dive straight in. This is Clay.com. You can find it at Clay.com. It's basically a tool that allows you to plug a bunch of different data providers into one spreadsheet type view. It's kind of like Google Spreadsheets on steroids, so you can just add a bunch of stuff to it. So better than me just explaining it, I'll show you at a high level what it looks like. So what you're going to first do, Clay has what's called tables and enrichments. A table is basically your canvas where you're going to be building the workflows, and enrichments are what you add on top of it so that you can actually make it have all the different data things you want, the AI stuff, and all the other things. So let's just dive in and let's build a table. So first off, let's just say for this case, I want to build a list of e-commerce companies like Gymshark. So whenever you're building a table, you can either come with a list that you already have. So you can see you can import records from Salesforce, HubSpot. If you have a CRM and you already have a bunch of people you already like, you can just plug it in from there. You can use Appify, Apollo, any of these other big data platforms if you want to just scrape leads that way. But in this case, let's assume that we don't have any leads that we already want to reach out to. We want to scrape them through Clay too. So we're going to start here with Ocean. Ocean is basically a lookalike tool where you can scrape companies that are similar to whatever company you're looking at. You can see here, you can either plug in your own account, which I'll show you how you can do and save a bunch of money on Clay, or you can use Clay's own account. So just to give a super high level on pricing too, because I figure that's relevant before we dive in. Clay basically bills on what's called credit. So if you check out their pricing page, whenever you sign up to Clay, I prefer paying monthly. You can see there's a $0 month plan, $149, $349, $800. What you're basically getting when you go up to these higher plans is just more credits, and credits are what the Clay bills on based off of how much you're using it. So if we want to scrape a lead, each lead that we're scraping costs 1 credit. And so you can check out the pricing on Clay's site here. If you sign up using the link in the description below for a paid plan, you get 3,000 free credits. So if you want to check it out, you can use my link. But whenever you're setting up an account, like I said, you're going to be using credits. And if you want to use Clay's managed accounts, they're going to bill you Clay credits. But what's also really, really neat about Clay is that you can bring your own data tools into their platform so that you can bill via whatever API you're paying, which is what is usually more cost effective. So if you want to scrape tons and tons of leads, and let's say I had an Ocean.io account, I would just plug in my own Ocean API key. That way, Ocean is obviously going to give me a better price than Clay, who's going to be marking it up with their Clay credits. But if you want convenience, or if you just want one central data platform, then I would just use the credits, and it's really convenient to use the credits. In a lot of my workflows, I end up just paying out of pocket with my own data tools. But anyways, we're going to use the Clay managed Ocean account here. And like I said, let's say I want to find e-commerce companies like Gymshark. So I'm going to type gymshark.com. You can include, like I said, Ocean is a lookalike tool, so you can just plug in companies that you want to be similar to, and it'll pop up a bunch of the other ones. So you can put domains to exclude, states, countries, and let's say we only want e-commerce companies that are like gymshark.com. So we're going to plug all this stuff in. Like I said, you can add all the different filters and stuff, but I'm just going to be doing a demo table to keep this relatively simple. So I'm going to scrape 50 results. I'm going to have e-commerce companies that are going to be similar to Gymshark. And so we're going to press continue. You can either add this to an existing table or a new blank table. Let's just do it from a new blank table. And you can see it's going to start populating things in here. And like I said, once you see the stuff pop up, it looks a lot like a Google Sheet. But the cool thing here is that you can add a bunch of stuff on top of it. So we went ahead, we scraped all these companies. Now you might be thinking, where are these actual companies? You can see over here on the left. So this is what an enrichment looks like. An enrichment, it's basically just like a run of a specific tool that you're using inside of Clay. And so you can see we found a company. This is the company. If you click in, you can click in all these little tabs to see all the data that's scraped. So you can see here's the name of the company, the domain, the emails. So it shows like corporate support, all the different emails that it was able to scrape, the root URL, and all this other stuff. So we went ahead and we just scraped a bunch of accounts that are similar to Gymshark. So what we're going to do is we want to actually see this data because it's not very nice seeing the data kind of mashed into the cell. We want to actually see it in its own cell. So what we're going to do is we're going to click in and then we're going to make the domain another column. So you can see the domain here. We're going to press add as column and we're going to press create column. And so now all the data on the left-hand side is going to populate on the right here. So now we can see all these 50 different domains or 50 different companies that we pulled in here. And now we can start doing some more magic on top of this. Now, what I like doing too is not just grabbing the bare minimum data, but also grabbing any other data we might possibly need. So you can see the company name here. You can see the countries, the keywords. If there's any other stuff we want to pull in here, now's the time to do it because we might need it down the road when we build out a more complex workflow. So I'm also going to add the company name here. So I'm going to rename this company name because this was grabbed through this ocean search. I'm also going to grab the emails might be useful if we want to scrape those or use those. But if we're reaching out to people, we don't really want to reach out to the emails that Ocean is giving us because they're just giving us generic emails. We can also grab their LinkedIn page. This can be really useful too if you want to grab stuff from their LinkedIn going down here. So we're going to type LinkedIn company page. We're going to create a column here. And then we can also grab any other data. If you want to grab their Instagram, let's say you're doing Instagram outreach and you're putting this in your CRM. This is really awesome because now you just have it right here. And if you want to reach out to their page, you can do that. So you can see all the other stuff, web traffic. This could be really useful and we could talk about how we could use this in a workflow, but you can see page views, here's visits. Let's just pull up page views here as well, because you never know. You could use that in your cold email campaign. You could say, hey, or your cold calling campaign, or really whatever. That's a great thing here is it's not just limited to cold email. You can use this in all kinds of other things. Company size, I'm going to pull this in here as well. And let's just start here without overcomplicating it. So we just scraped a bunch of people with a couple of clicks of a button through Clay. Now, the next question here is for a lot of you guys who are running cold email campaigns, you might be thinking, who should I be reaching out to here? Or where am I actually going to get the emails from? So now you can go over here and there's a bunch of other ways you can do this. This is the enrichment feature I was talking about. So we did step one. We scraped a bunch of companies we want to reach out to. Now we need to find the decision makers and find their emails. And so this is where we can go into this add enrichment section and start to build on this workflow. So we can type, find people, and there's a bunch of different stuff here. So this is just a few examples of enrichments you can use, but you can find contacts at companies. So this is a Clay enrichment. We'll just save results in this table. So you can see here, if you input the company LinkedIn page and you add, the job title keyword. So I could plug in this LinkedIn company page that I scraped here and say, I want the founder of these companies, right? And it'll output in another column. Or you can use a tool like Apollo. You can see Apollo has a direct integration here. So find people. You can see find people at company by job title. So we can press this in here. I have an Apollo API key. And so if I want to say I want to find the CEO of the people at these companies, and you can insert the company domains, you can do that as well. So we're going to just use that native Clay feature that we were just talking about here. Let's go over here, find people at company, and then we're going to input this. We're going to actually save these results in a new table, and I'll show you why. The reason is if we find multiple people from the same company, it's not going to format very well, because let's say there's 2 people at this top company here, it would take up 2 cells, and we want to have a different table where we have different cells. It's just a thing to make it look pretty and make it actually usable. So we're going to add enrichment. We're going to find people at company. And we're going to save results in a new table. So we're going to make a new table. And then you can see here, these, it already linked up and said, hey, these are the company pages we want to go after. View, default view. So let's say, like I said, we want to reach out to the owners, the VP level people, the C-suite level people, and the director level people that manage, or actually let's scrap director level people. Let's just keep it simple. The owners, the VPs, and the C-suites at these companies. You can have specific job titles that you want: CEO, owner, founder. If you're reaching out to marketing titles, you can do CMO, you can do all kinds of stuff there. But again, we're just going to keep this super simple. And then you can filter by location. So I want to make sure that the people we're reaching out to, let's say, are in the United States. We can include that here. We can exclude regions. We can add all kinds of different stuff here. You can add education. You can say, hey, I only only want people from these companies or these schools that they went to, certifications, profile. You can see there's all kinds of stuff here. Minimum number of connections. We want to reach out to people that are doing something where they have enough connections. I don't know what the use case could be there. Maybe it's just you want to reach out to people that have engagement on LinkedIn and people who have a certain amount of connections. You can do all kinds of stuff here. And like I said, a lot of the magic in these Clay tables comes from specifically determining what your campaign could look like and then building around that. So this connections or number of followers thing, probably not going to be relevant in this example table that we're going to make. But let's say you were a company and you do social media marketing, or you do ghostwriting or copywriting or whatever it is, and you want to reach out to people that have a certain amount of followers. This is where you can do that. You can say, hey, I noticed you had a bunch of followers. Really, really useful stuff here. But again, in the name of simplicity, we're just going to do CEOs, owners, founders, VPs, and people in the United States at the companies here. And so you can see it looks like it only pulled 9 people in here. Let's bump out the countries. Let's try this again. And so you can play around with all this other stuff. You can see there's 19 people here. Normally, I would like to do a little bit more people, but again, this is just a demo. And so we'll just run through the 19 or so people here. We're going to import this into a new table, and then you can also enrich directly through here. So let's say all we did here is we grab the people. Let's say we want to grab their emails. We can do that here. So we're going to continue for free, and I'm going to show you how I leverage enrichments using my own API keys to save some money. So we're going to continue here for free, and then it's going to pull up another table. So again, super small demo example. If I want to get this super right, I would play around with this a little bit more, but this is the table we have here. So step 1, we got a bunch of people we want to reach out to. Step 2, we found the people that actually we want to reach out to, the decision makers. And the next step we're going to do here is we're going to want to grab their emails. So how are we going to do this? Again, using another enrichment through Clay, we're going to go here and add work email. So we can find their work email, and you can pick specific providers, which is what I'm going to do here, or you can use a waterfall. What a waterfall is inside of Clay is basically where it passes through a bunch of different data sources to get, the maximum amount of data. So instead of just saying, hey, I want to check this one data source to see if this guy has this email here, we can pass it through a bunch of different data sources so that it can squeeze the most amount of emails out of this. So what I prefer to do, you can use this waterfall here. You can see this tool, Find Email. I really like Find Email. What you can do here is actually, instead of using your own Clay key where they charge 2 credits per run, you can add your own key. So I actually have a Find Email account. Find Email charges a cheaper rate if you buy it directly through them instead of Clay. And so what you can do here is whenever Clay prompts you, you can manage accounts, and then you can add your own account and you can add your own API key. Now you can only do this, I believe, on the $149 or $349 plan. You actually have to, have a paid plan. They don't want you just using the platform for free, obviously. But if you just do this, you can squeeze a lot more than 2,000 credits per month if you have one of these paid plans. So you can plug in your own email here or your own API key in here. Select your account, and then put your setup input. So whenever you're using an enrichment, if we're saying, hey, find this guy's email, it's going to ask for specific details to actually get their email, like their full name and their company name here. And you can see we already have a full name and company domain column, so we can just plug this directly in. If you don't have that data, that's where you can run other enrichments to get that data. So we're going to do this real quick here. We're going to save changes. And you can see, so this waterfall, we're going to pass it through a bunch of different data providers. You can add or remove stuff here. Let's just say for the sake of this, I want to just do Find Email and Lead Magic. And the reason why is because I have API keys for both of these platforms. So we're going to save. We're going to run this for all 19 rows here. Just doing this small sample here. We're going to find their work email. Now it's going to go through Find Email. You can see Find Email actually did a great job and found about 80% of them here. And for the ones that it wasn't able to find it, then it's going to go over Lead Magic, and Lead Magic will try and find them as well. So you can see it's passing through here. And these are the work emails of people's contacts that we can directly reach out to. So here's how you scrape leads. Here's how you do that. Now, here's where the fun begins, is where you can write your own personalized emails and start to go really, really in depth on how can we make these emails sound very human. So one of the things that we can do here is, in the case of an e-commerce company, we can pull up what their company mission is. We can pull up what their products are. We can pull up all kinds of other data inside here to make the email sound more personal. So let's say we want to go and find products on all these people's websites so we can call that out in their email. So what are we going to do here? We're going to go over add enrichment. And then there's a Google Shopping filter here. So you can see you can actually pass in websites through Clay. It'll pass it through Google Shopping and it'll see what items they have listed there. And then we can use that inside of our email. So we're going to go here to Google Shopping. We're going to put setup inputs. You can see the query, what we're going to be searching for. We're going to be adding in their website, I believe. So query, insert column. There should be a website column. If you want to add anything inside Clay here, like you want to reference another column, you just put this slash over here. So we're going to go over this company domain. We're going to search for this, and then we're going to localize, language to localize stuff. I don't think this matters too much. We're just going to add this to fields, and we're going to see this run. So we're going to save. We're going to run for all 19 rows. Like I said, since I'm doing a demo here, I just run all the rows at once. If you're doing this on like a giant sheet where you have like thousands or tens of thousands of people, I would recommend just running it for 10 rows, seeing if you like the outputs, and then running it for the rest. That way you don't burn through all your credits. So we're going to go here, run 19 rows, and we're going to see if Google Shopping can find a product that these people have. So these are all e-commerce companies, so they should almost all of them have something on Google Shopping. And as you can see, it looks like they all do. So if we click in here, you can see all the shopping results, all the stuff that they have. Title, Silverback Gym. Let's see, they have a gym wear t-shirt. They have a hoodie. So you can see this is all the different products that they have. Let's pull this up here. They have large athletic fit long sleeve soft shirt. It looks like some of this is pulled from Poshmark. Might not be directly through them, but you can see the source here, Barbell Apparel. This looks like the company, Barbell Apparel. Awesome. So what we can do here now is then plug some of their product names. So let's pull in the first one because this is probably going to be the most relevant one, and pull in the pricing as a column. Price of product 1, and then we're going to pull that in here, and then let's see, create column, and then we will pull the name of the good. So we're going to do add as column, name of product 1, create column, and then we'll also pull in another product. Let's see, we'll put it here, price, add as column, price of product 2, and then add as column, name of product 2. So now we have a bunch of different stuff. Again, this is where we can write super personalized emails, is now we're pulling in the name of their products. So if you, let's say, are wanting to reach out to these companies, you can pull up one of their product names. Now, a lot of these people, again, are from the same companies. If I wanted to do this list more in depth, I would have probably pulled more than 19 people in and scraped this in a lot more depth, or pulled it from a different data source. But again, in the sake of making this a simple demo, we're just going to take the stuff that we have here. You can see there's a lot of overlap because a lot of these companies look like they're the same. It's just multiple people from the same company. But now we have the name of some of their products, and then we also have price of their products. So if we want to call this out in their email, what we can do here is the first thing is, let's say we want to, in the email, have a merge field where we say, hey, I noticed you sell insert name of product. The thing about this, the issue you can see here, is this doesn't sound very human. So if we're reaching out to, let's say, Barbell Apparel here, and we want to say, hey, I noticed that you guys sell Barbell Apparel straight athletic fit jeans, that doesn't really sound like a human's reaching out. So if we want to make this sound more human, this is where we can start to leverage AI. So we can go over here, add column, and one of the enrichments here you can see is use AI. So if we use AI here, what we can do is clean up the name of the product. So instead of saying, hey, I saw you sell Barbell Apparel large athletic fit jeans, we can just say, hey, I noticed you guys sell a pair of straight fit jeans, or I saw you sell athletic jeans, or something to that effect. You can come in here and use AI to actually say, hey, go look at this text here and make it sound human so that we can use it in a cold email campaign. So I'll show you an example of that. Let's say we're going to go here and to use AI, and we're going to use it for manipulation of data. You can see Clay has this other feature, which I'll dive into after here, called Claygent, where you can actually scrape data off the web. Super insane tool. But we're going to go over here. We're going to pick which model we want to use. So you can see Clay has a bunch of models. I've noticed that 3.5 Sonnet is very, very high quality. It costs a little bit more though, or you can use OpenAI. GPT-4o Mini, you can see it costs half a Clay credit here. If you actually leverage your own API key, you can run this for like a tenth of a penny. It's absolutely ridiculous how cheap some of the stuff is. But like I said, if you plug in your own API keys, this is going to be easier. If you want the convenience, like we are going to do in this video here, you can just use your own, or you can use Clay's key. So you can see I have my own key, and we're going to use Clay's key here. So we're going to see these company names, and our goal here, like I said, in this example, is we want to take these company names and make it sound like we could use it in a cold email merge field. So I want you to clean up the name of a product that I will provide you. The goal is to make the product name sound human, so I can use it inside of a cold email in the sentence. I notice, and then we'll give a sentence. I notice you sell product type. I want you to clean up the name of a product that I'm going to provide you. The goal is to make it sound human, so I can use it inside of a cold email in the sentence. I notice you sell product type. Are you looking to sell more going into Black Friday? So I'm just giving it more context. Please keep the output short and human sounding, right? So we just fed it this prompt. We're going to test it first. One thing, if you're doing this at scale, there is no like, hey, you just plug it in and it instantly works. A lot of times you have to do guessing and checking, especially with AI, but we're going to just try this right away. Here is the product name. So we gave it the prompt. We said, hey, we want you to do this. Now we actually have to give it the product name that we're going to do here. And so we're going to scroll down and we're going to pull name of product one. So we're just going to do this for product one. We can run this right now and see how it works. Let's just run this for 10 rows, but I'll show you how you can actually improve this. Another really, really cool thing you can do inside of Clay here, prompt system configuration examples, right? You can train the model with examples. So let's say in this case, we want to say slim fit jeans or whatever it is, we can actually tell it that. So this product name doesn't look like it's super good. Again, this is why we pulled another product name. We can have it fallback thing. You can see here, athletic jeans, this looks good, gym equipment, men's workout tanks, blah, blah, blah. It looks like a lot of this stuff looks really good, but the problem is here is you can see the output isn't defined. So this is where we can use examples where we can say, all right, let's actually train the model and tell it what we want it to output. So if we go over here and do examples, we can say, choose a row as an example. Let's use row one. Let's save this. So we're basically going to say, I'm going to tell you an example of what we want you to output. So in this case, we said the name of the product is straight athletic fit jeans. And I just want to say, I know you sell athletic jeans. We're training the model and saying, hey, here's an input, here's an output. And if you do this enough times, you can have it get really, really good output. So let's feed it that piece of data. And let's just do that one example. And you can see, so here's output one. You can see the outputs aren't bad. Athletic jeans, this looks good. It just added context to it, right? Because we didn't tell the AI, hey, only output the merge field or only output the variable. Here's the product name. And then I'll also add this then. Only output the name of the product, nothing else. Again, super simple example, save, run this for 10 rows. And then now we have, let's wait for it to load a couple seconds, athletic denim, athletic jeans, gym equipment, athletic tank tops, athletic jeans, fitness backpacks, because there's a backpack here. So you can see all these different products now have become a lot more human sounding. So now you can imagine in an email, we could say, hey, I saw you sell athletic denim. Just curious, are you looking to sell more of this going to Black Friday? Imagine how much better that's going to convert instead of saying, hey, are you looking to get more sales going to Black Friday? Sounds a lot more human, makes the emails convert a lot better. And then you can just, with a couple of press of a button, if you had 10,000 people here, all you have to do is just say, hey, force run this for all 10,000 people. As long as you have it in a way that looks good, then you can have all these columns run. And so you can see, again, it does a very, very good job if you prompt it correctly and if you give it enough data. So that's just one example, right? So we started off at the beginning of this video, totally blank table, totally no idea. We just said, hey, we want to target gym companies that are similar to Gymshark. Then we were able to find the people. Then we were able to grab the product results. And then we were able to output it all into one nice, neat column where we can grab the emails and actually plug it into our cold email scripts as if we were talking as a human. Now there's other enrichments. I can make videos going through every individual each enrichment. I'll just go through some of the ones that I like using the most, just so you can have context on all the different stuff you can do inside Clay. And then I'm also going to show you an example of a Clay table that I built so that you can see like another real world example, because what I've noticed with Clay, it's a super, super, super powerful tool. The problem becomes is like, you just don't even realize all the different things you can do inside Clay. So I would suggest if you're going to use this tool, go through, play around with it, because there's a million different things you can do, a lot of it with AI. But let's just check out here. You can check out someone's bio. Let's say you want to call out, hey, I noticed you've been in this industry for X amount of years. Education, you can grab their Facebook, their full name, their gender even. So if you want to say like, hey, I want to personalize based on gender for whatever reason in your emails, you can do that. LinkedIn profile, location, you can grab their mobile phone number. So in another example, and I have another video showing you how you can find people's emails and phone numbers using Clay, but again, I'll show you right now. If I want to go and cold call these people and have my cold call opener, hey, is this John? Hey, John, I saw you sell athletic denim. What we can do here is press add column, add enrichment, and then we can do phone number. So if we plug this in, mobile phone number, again, we can do a waterfall, we can save and then double check what it plugs in. You can see all it asks is for a LinkedIn profile. And so now if we do this, we can save and run and you can get people's phone numbers. So I'm not going to do this here. I don't want all these people's phone numbers. I think we'd probably have to blur that out. But anyways, that's all the data in one place and how you can do a lot of stuff in Clay. I'm going to show you a couple more examples. Twitter account, if you want to grab their Twitter account, personal email, profile picture. I haven't used this before, but if you want to grab their profile picture and use that, work experience, work email. If you want to grab other people in their companies, so let's say you had a list of people of, let's say, the CEOs, and you want to call out their marketing guy, you can go and add a column and you can run a search on people that work for their company. And there's a few other things. Let's say you want to make a full AI line. I think there's actually even enrichment here where you can write a full email using Twain. Yeah, you can have it write sales emails. Again, I personally like to write my own emails, but you can even have it write a full email end to end. I'm just going to do this totally live. Search by fields, filter input fields. Let's see here if there's anything else. Prospect name. I'm just going to run this and see if we were to run this, do I need to do anything else on top to make this email sound good? You can even have it write the whole email. Now, like I said, again, personally, I think that AI isn't quite at the point where you can write the full value prop. And I didn't even fill this out. You can fill in the value prop of whatever you're sending is in here. But you can see, hi, Pete, finding reliable solutions can be challenging. Oh, that's just because we didn't put in any prompt. But you can see it just put a super generic output here. But if you want to have AI write the full email end to end, you can do that as well. Again, like I said, personally, I like to do my own stuff because then I can call it the product and do all kinds of other things inside of the emails. And that gets quite costly too if you just do that. So that's some examples of how to use Clay. That's me building a table end to end, showing you how you can use AI. One other thing, like I said earlier, that I want to show you how to use is Claygent, because this tool is extraordinarily powerful. The other use case for AI is having it scrape data off of a website. So let's say I wanted to manually research these websites, and let's say I want to grab their mission statement. There's no clear way that I can find these companies' mission statement. There's not like a mission statement enrichment, right? Maybe there is, but I want to go to their website and find their mission statement. So what I can do here, I can plug in Claygent. Claygent is just Clay and ChatGPT or another AI layered on top of it to be a web scraper. So let's say I want to grab the mission statement. I want you to go to website or /webs/domain, right? This is what I have here, company domain. I want you to go to company domain and find the company's mission statement. And then you can also tell the AI where you'd find the mission statement. And the great thing about this AI web researcher is you can go to the websites and find data there. And if it doesn't find the data there, you can tell it to go on Google and find it somewhere else. So I want you to go to company name's website and find the company's mission statement. If you can't find it directly on their website, you can Google their name. Here's their company name. And then I can insert their company name somewhere here if I have it. Let's see. It's in one of these columns. This is what I do sometimes I forget. Company name data. Company name. I missed it the first time. Some of you guys out there probably watching, what is Matt doing? This is real world of what it looks like actually building these tables. It takes a lot of time. So here's their company name. Let's recap this again. I want you to go to company domain and find the company's mission statement. If you can't find it directly on their website, you can Google their name. Here's their company's name. Be sure to check out their various social media pages and their About Us page because it's likely there. Please take your time with this task and only output the mission statement. All right, so I want you to go to company domain, find the company's mission statement. If you can't find it directly on their website, you can Google their name, be sure to check it out, blah, blah, blah. Cool. Define the outputs, run settings, all this other stuff. Let's just run it, okay? Save and run 10 rows. Use AI here. If we want to be more efficient with the Clay credits, one of the things I'm doing here that is not efficient is I grabbed the people first. And so you can see some of these people, maybe two people work at the same company. The same company might have the same mission statement. If you want to be conservative with your credits, you should do it in the right order, because then if you just did it on the company level, then grab the people, then you wouldn't have to rerun it for multiple people here. But you can see it's going to load here for the next few minutes. I'm going to wait for it to load here. You can edit the column, check out all this other stuff. I think my face now looking back was probably blocking some of the other stuff. But anyways, you can see the mission statement here. So if we plug in Sweaty Betty's mission statement is to empower all women through fitness and beyond. The Sweaty Betty Foundation, blah, blah, blah. You can see that's their mission statement. So again, really, really useful stuff. You can even have it source emails. You can say, hey, this is the company I'm searching for. Go on the web and scour to find their support email, or tell me who the CEO is, or go Google and return me back their Facebook page. There's so many endless outputs you can do with Claygent. So to wrap this video up, I want to show you another example sample table that we built that I can show you where you can make an email sound super hyper personalized. So I'm going to zoom out. I'll show you this one example. So this is the workflow for this example table I built. This was actually for a prospect, someone who came to me and was like, hey, build me out an example table. I'm like, cool, let's do this. So what they do is they sell offshore staffing services, and they sell it into companies like HubSpot companies or HubSpot agencies. So to be clear, their target market is companies that sell HubSpot implementation as a service, which is a very narrow company set. So you might be thinking like, how do we even scrape that? Their next challenge is that they wanted different value propositions depending if they had onshore staff or offshore staff. So if they had onshore staff, they want to say, hey, I noticed you have staff onshore. Have you considered hiring offshore? Or if they had offshore staff, then they want to convince them that, hey, their offshore staff is really good because they hire in Eastern Europe or whatever, right? So you can see here, here's a example. So I went ahead, I just scraped from Apollo or it was either Apollo or LinkedIn Sales Navigator or wherever. I download this and just upload this directly into Clay. And so you can see I have the first name, last name, title, all their other stuff. Now, the first problem that we have here is that in one of these major data sources, I think I was using Apollo. In this Apollo table, I just put in like marketing and advertising companies with the keyword HubSpot. Now, the problem becomes here is that Apollo and ZoomInfo and a lot of these other big data sources, they can't get that granular. Like you can put the keyword HubSpot, but that doesn't necessarily mean they are a HubSpot implementation agency or they sell HubSpot as a service, right? A very, very niche use case example here. So the first thing we actually did is we verified the emails, because if you can't reach out to them, there's not really much of a point in spending Clay credits on them. Then the next thing we did here is that we used Claygent, the example I showed you here before, where you can scrape a company's website, and we prompted it and we said, hey, go to this company's website and tell me if they are actually a HubSpot consulting firm. If they're not a HubSpot consulting firm, do not output true. If they are a HubSpot consulting firm, output true. This way, we're reaching out to the super, super hyper personalized segment of people. So you can see here, about 30% of the data here was false. And zooming out, right, this is just a cold email conversation now. A lot of the reason why people fail with cold outreach and doing a lot of these outbound campaigns is because they scrape these giant lists. They don't make it accurate. They don't make it personalized. They don't make it actually seem like a human reached out to them. And then you get to the end point where you're sending this very generic email to this person who has no idea what you're even selling. And then it's a very generic email to a person that might not even be a good fit. Then people start reporting as spam. Then your emails go to spam, and they have all kinds of downstream effect problems. But separate side note. But anyways, back to this flow. We got the original list of what I thought HubSpot companies were. We validated them. We passed it through Claygent, and then we found contacts at companies. So like I said earlier, we want to make custom value propositions depending if they had people on their team who were offshore or not. So what we did here is we ran this enrichment where we said, hey, output people if they are based outside the US. And so you can see I ran that output, and then I used AI to actually filter this down to people and their location. So now we can call it their location too, right? Ran this through, did a bunch of data processing with it, but here's the final line that really matters most, right? So what I then did is said, hey, if they have someone who's offshore and they're not based in Eastern Europe, because they do hiring in Eastern Europe, I want you to say one thing. If they don't have any offshore staff, say another thing. And if they do have offshore staff based in Eastern Europe, I want you to say a third thing. So I'll give you a couple examples. So you can say, in this first example, they had no one based offshore. So we said, hi, first name, I noticed on your LinkedIn that you have no team members based outside of the US. Are you looking to hire outside the US? Different value prop, right? Second example, hey, I noticed that this guy on your team is based inside of Spain. Have you considered hiring in Eastern Europe? Another example. So this is a case where someone is, they haven't hired in Eastern Europe yet, but they're familiar with offshoring because they have someone offshore already, right? Different value proposition. And then in the sentences below it, whenever we're manually writing like the rest of the email, we can call it and say, hey, here's the pros of hiring from Eastern Europe instead of all these other locations, right? Different value proposition, different sales angle. And then this third example, this person has hired in Eastern Europe. Hey, I noticed that this guy on your team is based in Serbia. Have you considered hiring more talent in Eastern Europe? So now the selling angle that you're coming from is not, angle one is like, hey, here's this new idea you haven't heard of. Angle two is like, hey, I saw you're doing this, but here's a better way you could be doing it. And then the third angle here is, hey, I saw you're already doing this thing. Here's how we can improve and iterate upon this. So a lot of stuff, like I said, if you just do this very well and you're really diligent and you think through how you can write these campaigns, you can make absolutely killer campaigns that get a ton of results and almost emulate if someone was manually writing these emails. This is like the whole point, and the amazing part about Clay and AI is you can effectively, if you do this right, you can do the job of like a whole sales team just with some AI enrichments and some other stuff. Again, there's other sales functions. It's not just like I can reduce sales down and just into email. But the point is that you can do 5 people's outputs as one single person if you know what you're doing properly. So like I said, that wraps up this video. If you want to check out Clay, like I said, there's a link down in the description below. If you sign up and you get a paid plan using that link, you get 3,000 free credits. So you get a bunch of extra credits on top. Also, if you like this stuff and you want more of it, please let me know, because I can make all kinds of videos on Clay, the different Clay tables we're building. And then last thing, if you're watching this video and you want help with this type of stuff, you can check out one of the links in the description below. Anivo Marketing, it's my company. If you want to work with me, you can fill out the form, see if you're a fit, and you can apply and see if you want to work with me, coaching, or for outsource managed stuff, which is a majority of the stuff we do. We send emails for our customers to help them book sales calls. So that's basically everything. Really appreciate you watching this video. Have a killer week, and take care.